We're now on to the really exciting bit. That's where you put everything you've learnt about shutter speed into practice on the camera. Before we do that, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to know to set up your camera to do exactly that, to put you in charge. The first thing you need to do is you need to pick a location like I've done here. Ideally, it's going to be a location with plenty of light, and you're going to need a moving subject, because otherwise, how can we demonstrate shutter speed? You've got your location, you've got your moving subject. We may well be giving gold stars for the person with the most interesting and or fun subject. So have a think about what you're going to shoot. We need to translate what we've learned onto the camera. So we need to prioritise the shutter speed on your camera. Now, handily, this camera is a Nikon. All other cameras do the same. They have a mode called shutter speed priority to do exactly that. Quite helpfully named. If you've got a Canon, it will be marked TV, which stands for time value. So now I'm going to put this particular camera into shutter speed priority mode. The videos below give some more details which may help you a little bit more than this one, but for this camera, what I do is I press a button here that says mode, and I toggle a dial at the back which toggles between the different modes: aperture priority, shutter speed priority, manual, etc, etc, etc. If you've got a Canon, shutter speed priority will not be S. It will not be marked as S, it will be marked as TV, which stands for time value. So I need to move this dial until the LCD on the top says S. Now, I've got a display that tells me what shutter speed I'm on, and it actually handily says 1000. Now it says 1000, it doesn't mean 1000 seconds, it means 1000ths of a second. So it's actually exactly where I need it to be, but if I needed to move between the different shutter speeds, I would toggle this dial again, and if I moved one way, it would go slower. If I moved the other way, we would go faster shutter speeds. So it would toggle between, say, 1/500th of a second, which would be 500, etc. I think you get the deal. But for now, it is set to 1000th of a second, which is where I need it to be for the next section of this video. The subject I've picked for you today is a Jeep jumping over a ramp, which is why we need a really fast shutter speed. I'd love to say we've pulled out all the stops for you today, but ta-da! So here we have our Jeep waiting and ready, and our ramp, which I will need to lie down over there to take the shot, and we're good to go. Obviously, we need the camera to focus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera into manual focus mode. Now, if you remember our focus lesson, we put it into autofocus, but we're going to use the same buttons to change it back into manual. So if you remember, we had a button on the lens, so we need to tell the lens to manual focus. So I just flick this button down from MA to M. And on the camera body, we've got a button that says autofocus, AF or M. So I need to flick it back to M. So what I need to do now is I need to get my trusty helper over there to hold the Jeep where it's likely to be when I shoot, so that I can adjust my focus by twisting the lens here, so until it's in focus. So all I do is look in the viewfinder, twist this left and right until the Jeep is in focus. And the camera will hold its focus right there until I take the shot. My trusty helper is now holding the Jeep where it's likely to be when I take the shot. So I'm going to get an approximate focus. We're likely to have a little bit of leeway because of the depth of field will probably be quite wide. So it doesn't need to be exact, you just need to get an approximate focus. Guessing it's good too, so don't worry too much about this step. I'm going to zoom in to the Jeep on this so I can see it more clearly, and adjust the focus ring, which is this ring here, until it comes into the viewfinder in focus, clear and sharp, as opposed to blurry. So I've got it spot on here. It's going to be an approximate focus because it could be anywhere a bit to the left, a bit to the right when I shoot it, but we're good to go. So I've got the shot now at 1,000th of a second. I'm going to toggle the shutter speed again to a 50th of a second, so we're on a slow shutter speed, and let's see what happens. Just moving the dial. It now says 50, so we're good to go. Hello. The first shot, as you can see, we've pretty much nailed. It's absolutely pin sharp. The Jeep in midair is pin sharp. That's because we were lucky. With shutter speed, it's guesswork. You may have to rinse and repeat at different shutter speeds until your shot looks right. You'll get more experienced at it in guessing what the right shutter speed is going to be the more you do it. So this is why we're having this exercise. The second shot, as you can see, is quite blurry. We've got blur from motion blur, which is good blur, but we've also got blur because the camera was also moving as I was panning the shot to get the Jeep. That's a 50th of a second. So motion blur will occur at 50th of a second, as will camera shake. So that pretty much shows what shutter speed does. And now the exciting bit is it's all over to you. You are now in complete control. It's over to you to go out there, shoot something at 1,000th of a second, shoot something at a 50th of a second and see the difference. Experiment if you don't get it right straight away. You don't need to do something as elaborate as we did, jump a Jeep. It can be a child on a swing, it can be a pet moving, it can be a roundabout, it can be absolutely anything. So anything you choose. We're going to give gold stars for the most interesting and or funny subjects. So don't forget to pop over to the Facebook group with all your results. Tag us if you've got any questions, let us know how you went, and we can't wait to see what you come up with. Don't forget to download your cheat sheet from the bottom of this lesson, take it with you when you shoot, and good luck. We can't wait to see all your results. Take care, have fun.